We're gonna take a look at some of the products from, oh, my nails. Oh, that needs to be done first. Hello everyone and welcome to another video. I have another box of happiness. See, it says this box contains a whole lot of happy, and it really does. We're gonna take a look at some of the products from the new MFT March release. Let's see what we have here. Let's see, I'm gonna try to organize it. First, I see the new Stacy Yakula set. This one is called Sky High, and it does have coordinating dies. This set has features a little, I think that's like a fox, and maybe a hedgehog or a porcupine, and they're flying in a plane with a banner on the back that says I love you. And I love the fact that it has these little tiny elements so that you can make like a ground. You can make the trees and stuff far away from the airplane, so it gives you a little bit of dimension on your card. It has sentiments like, it's plain to see you're amazing, for you the sky's the limit, I'm still falling for you, you make my heart soar. So sweet. Next, I see a die set, some Die-namics. This one is called Planted Blooms, and I did not cut this one out of the planter, so I screwed it up. Rookie mistake. I love that. And it comes with all these other elements that you can pop up on your card to give it dimension. That would be cool. There's some other parts. So this one is called Hand Lettered Happy Birthday, and I've got it here. I've cut it out already. I managed to not screw this one up quite as bad. So that's the happy and the birthday. I lost my tittle. So I love how this looks. I love the shadow of it and how it's kind of an outline for the letters. It's kind of bubbly along with the letters. That's really cool. Morty! So this one is the new Scripty Smile dynamic, and it's just that. It's a hand-lettered smile, and against the tray here you can see it a little bit better. And of course I again lost the tittle. Why? I try so hard. Anyway, it looks great. I love that smile. I love the hand-lettered look. I've been practicing my own hand lettering. It's not great. I'm just gonna keep practicing. Next is a super fun stamp set that is called Double the Fun, and it's basically kind of like a Noah's Ark themed stamp set. So it has 2 alligators, 2 giraffes, 2 elephants, and 2 turtles. We've got some mice. Oh, this really cute rainbow with a cloud on it. And of course the little Noah's Ark. It has sentiments like, my life is much better with you in it. I'm happy you're part of our crew. Love from me to you. I have an idea to use this set today, so fingers crossed that it kind of works out. We'll see. Okay, so this one is the Recipe for Life stamp, and it says live, love, laugh, play, dream, go for it, and smile. Or go for it, smile. And it's a good size. This is a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of cardstock, so you can see the size there. So it would take up your entire card front. I love using these to use different color embossing powders or different colored inks. So this is going to be fun to play with. Also, Dexter's favorite of this collection is some coordinating stamps to go with the dies that were released last month. So this is called the Pumped Up Alphabet and Pumped Up Numbers, and they are balloon stamps. So these are going to be solid stamps, that's why they're all black, and they have little balloon ties at the bottom, and it comes with different types of balloon strings for you to use. I know I showed this to Dexter yesterday and he's super excited to play with this, so maybe I'll share what he makes over on Instagram if you'd like to follow me over there. I share a lot more, way too much actually, over on Instagram, especially in my stories. So that is what I have to play with today, and let's just get started and start to play with things and see if my idea turns out today. Sometimes it doesn't. It's okay. So I started by grabbing a piece of Neenah 110-pound cardstock, and I started fiddling and futzing around with the layout and the idea that I had for the card. I took a piece of Avery repositionable label sheet, cut to 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I cut a plain circle, not stitched in any way, from it so that I could create a mask for my card panel. I just removed the backing from the label sheet and then aligned up the bottom. My piece of Neenah is cut to the same size, and then I just use my fingers to brush it on, moving upwards in an upwards motion. So now I want to create a perfectly round balloon. So I'm taking one of the smaller circles and the center of that Avery repositionable sheet and cutting it from that to use up the scraps. And then I'm placing it where I think the elephant would be holding the balloon. Now I'm ready to do some ink blending. I grabbed some VersaMagic Aegean blue. Man, I can't see anything anymore. And my Ranger blender brushes, and I just go like crazy blending on this beautiful blue ink. This is a heart monitor, okay? Nothing to be afraid of, but it's hot under these lights sometimes. So I'm just unzipping my jacket. Sorry, just to get some air, okay? I was trying to hide it, but I quickly realized that that was not going to happen. Ink blending is a workout, and I just needed some air. I'm having trouble adjusting my body temperature. But the big reveal is way more important. Okay, so now I have this white circle in the sky there that kind of looks like a weird Pac-Man. But we're going to fix that. We're going to take the piece that I cut that circle from and use it as another mask to create my little balloon. This time I'm using Distress Oxide in Antique Linen. I wanted a softer color palette for this card, so I'm using an Antique Linen for this balloon. I know that it could somewhat look like a moon too, but that's really not what I was going for. It looks fabulous, and I'm super happy with how it turned out. Now I need some fun images to add to my card front. I'm taking some MFT Extreme Black ink, which is alcohol marker friendly ink, but I'm not going to use my alcohol markers today. After I stamped a few of the images, I'm breaking out my POLYCHROMOS. If you do not like watching people color, I completely understand. You can skip ahead, but this is not very intense coloring, y'all. I literally wanted it to look almost childlike, so I didn't take too much consideration or care. I just colored. I just used my colored pencils to add color to my images, and I didn't think too much about it. I wanted a little bit of variation of color, but other than that, I wanted to keep the childlike, with lack of a better word, innocence that the colored pencils portray. Okay, so that's really what I was going for, almost like a child actually colored it, which, hey, if my skills bring me anything, it's childlike coloring. I tried to choose colors that brought me a more muted color palette to keep the card much softer than I usually go for, and I really, really like how it turned out. I do have a POLYCHROMOS color map for this card over on my blog at KorenWiskman.com. After I was done coloring my images, I used the coordinating dies to cut them out. Here are all the images that I've colored up. I was not quite sure what I wanted to do about a sentiment at this point, so I took the stamp set and I tried to look at what my options were, and I totally loved #squad_goals. I needed to use that. I saw quite a few inspirational images on Pinterest using like Noah's Ark theme, and one of the photos that I saw had these lines on some circular images, and that's why I drew those lines there, because I really liked them. I'm also drawing a balloon string line using a Copic Multiliner to be able to draw a string from the balloon to the elephant's trunk. So I grabbed some black baker's twine in order to create a bow to be tied around the elephant's trunk. That way he's holding the balloon. I'm taking a glue dot and putting that on the back side of his trunk and then sticking him to the baker's twine before I try to tie a bow. Once I got the bow in place, I do feel like the baker's twine that I have is a bit too thick. I wish I had something a little bit thinner, but this is what I have. To add a sentiment, I grabbed some MFT black licorice cardstock and my EK Success powder tool, and I prepped it for some heat embossing using Nuvo Clear Mark embossing ink and some Ranger white embossing powder so that I could have hashtag squad goals on my card. After shaking off any excess embossing powder, I take my heat tool to the sentiment and it looks fantastic. Now we're going to cut it into a strip using my Fiskars wire guide paper trimmer. You guys have seen me do this like 9.6 times. Is that a number? I don't know. The wire guide on this trimmer makes this task super easy, so I just keep going back to it every time. I want to pop up this panel, so I'm going to take this scrap piece of white craft foam that I previously used. It doesn't, no matter, it will still pop up my panel just fine, and some tear tape adhesive to stick it to my card base. Then I'm using Scotch foam tape, 3M foam tape, to pop up a lot of my images, except for this giraffe. He got liquid adhesive and he's flat to the card front. I then spent some time popping up or adhering all of the animals, piling them on top of each other as a squad, and then I wasn't sure where I wanted to put my hashtag squad goals sentiment, but look at me using a T-ruler, but I ultimately ended up using it across the balloon image that I created. I used my Teflon bone folder to score my card base, and that is it. Well, I really like the way that it turned out. It's very much like what I had pictured in my mind. I wish that I had like a smaller piece of black twine. I probably could have used embroidery thread, but I'm not doing that now. I really like it. I think it's cute. This could easily be made into a first birthday card or any kind of baby card with the Noah's Ark theme. I like my squad. I like the colors that I used. I hope that I've inspired you to create something today, and until next time. Find me, find my favorite things on social media. I love interacting with you in the comments. Coming up next is some family vlog footage. Here. Is that the one?
Yeah, now we just need purple. There we go.
All right, what do we have?
So, we have
These
purple.
don't dump them out.
We have purple. Orange. Red. Green. Yellow.
All right.
Sometimes you actually have to count how many you got.
You need a lot of coins, so you can just keep cutting. We're
Yeah,
probably gonna get more paper.
Yeah. Hey, Daddy, while you're over there, can you get more paper? Gold paper?
You're always a leader.
I am never always a leader.
And we have green. These I think should be for maybe some clovers inside. So what do you want to make the barrel roll out of? This one?
Yes.
That was my pick too.
Okay.
Forest.
So you're gonna put some from like here to here. Okay, put it right on the bottom. Gotta keep it on the bucket.
Well, we're gonna bring him home, by the way.
Okay. If you trap one, we'll bring him home.
If we don't trap one, we'll let him go into the school. So he's gonna walk up here.
And jump in to get the gold and not be able to get out.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
got the leprechaun, and this is the school's floor. He's gonna walk up. He's gonna fall down. He's gonna try to get the coins. Then he's gonna flump, flump, flump.
They won't be able to get out.
And
They'll
then
be
when
trapped.
I see him, I take him up.
I think it's the great leprechaun trap.
He's gonna notice.
Is it done?
Yeah! I like what I did this part.
I think you did great. I think it was great teamwork. High five.
And I think we're gonna keep this until next week.
I think we need to put it up so it doesn't
Yep.
get broken.
Because you're already.
Don't touch it, it's hot.
Alright. Now, put some right here in the middle. Not at the very top. You don't need it at the very top.
We can do it.
Alright.
Yeah, it's hot. Don't touch the tip.
Yeah, it's still a hot glue gun. Still my finger behind it.
Don't touch anyone with the tip. Put it on the plastic thing, please. There we go. All right, now you've got grass on your bucket.
Now we got a grassy bucket.